A game developed by 6 devs, some of which are parents, Hypercharge Unboxed seems like an answer to all the prayers of the fellow old head gamers like myself who are so tired of all the games as a service and live service games. Where's the split screen co-op? Where's the campaign and PvP? What about the offline PvP like the good old days? What about bots like in Battlefront 2? But seriously, if you read the key features of the game, you'd probably say to yourself, man, I need to try this. It has a little something for everyone on top of having a free demo, so there's even fewer reasons to not try it now. So why haven't I heard of it? Hi, I'm Ambro, and today we're chatting about an indie gem that's actually been around for a while now, since 2020, but it's only now hitting the PS5 on May 30th, 2025, $29 US, with full crossplay and cross-progression support. Just as a heads up, it may or may not be out on that platform by the time you watch this video. Before we get started, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell to get allegedly instant notifications on when the next video drops. Hypercharge Unboxed is a first and third person shooter action figure game you've always dreamed of. Grab your friends, complete objectives, defend the hypercore against waves of weaponized toys, and defeat major evil together in the story campaign. This game almost seems like it was something released in the PS3 360 era. What do I mean by that? Hypercharge Unboxed, in its current state, has all of the fully realized features that we used to see a few console generations ago, dare I say during retro times. It may be hard to believe now, but games used to come out with both a fully featured campaign and a fully featured online mode. I know, shocker, who could possibly have that? As mentioned before, the game was developed by 6 people. The visuals, gameplay fluidity, and the fun factor for a game made by 6 people is off the charts. The game runs like an absolute dream on PC, consoles, and even runs at a really steady clip on lower power devices like the Steam Deck. Now, as someone who follows the video game space closely, it's a rarity to see these days with the exploding cost of game development, as well as the increased time investment to actually make games, to see a game that has all the key features that Hypercharge Unboxed has to offer. Not to mention the game's development commitment over the last few years. All it takes is one scroll on the Steam page to see how well the game is loved and how far it's come to get to where it is now. Whether you're returning to the game or you're about to jump in completely fresh, it's good to know if this game is worth the highlight and potentially your hard-earned cash. First things first, let's get these key features out of the way, because these initial reasons are probably enough for a lot of people to just try the game out of goodwill. The developer and publisher, Digital Cybercherries, wants to make sure that it's not only felt like an old school game, but had the feature set of one in terms of allowing players to play what best fits their situation. One of my favorite things is the focus on playing with friends in basically every single possible way, from local split screen co-op to crossplay between Xbox, PC, and PS5. The game also offers bots for people who prefer to go at it solo, and the bots are actually really useful in this game, at least on the lower difficulties. With the closed garden walls coming down between consoles and brands, being able to play this game with your friends regardless of what platform you're on is amazing, and something I wish I had as a kid who needed to corral a handful of kids every weekend to play 007 Nightfire around a crusty but reliable Nintendo GameCube that I still have today. So all of this is amazing stuff by any standard, and frankly I feel like more games should be released today with these features. But let's talk about the gameplay and game design itself, because I don't think that part is made completely clear just from the video game's marketing material, which is actually really stellar, by the way. I don't know if you guys have seen their ads on Instagram and TikTok and stuff over the years, but they do a pretty good job of building a pipe, I feel. But I digress. The game is a first and third person wave-based shooter with tower defense elements, exploration, progression, unlockables, and cosmetics that don't require microtransactions to unlock, and really fun minute-to-minute gameplay. The single-player story is told through these short but really neat comic shorts at the beginning of each mission, and again, this is a really kid-friendly game made by 6 people, some of which are parents, so keep that in mind. One playthrough of the campaign is only about 7 hours long, but the replayability is the main draw of this game. As you learn the ins and outs of each map, you collect all the collectibles, and the unique strategies that are involved. First off, the controls. You get access to a jump, a double jump, and a vault right off the bat, and as you play the campaign, you slowly get access to more weapons, more options for when you set up your defenses, and, like I said, you could swap between third person and first person on the fly. The controls are really nice and weighty, but not limiting in a way that discourages traversal and exploration, which is really important because that's how you're going to keep your defenses and gear up from round to round. There's gold and gun attachments laying around after each round, and you need to physically go pick them up. Some goodies are also tucked away in every single map for those who are completionists and go for that 100%. 100%. The visual feedback for all the pickups in the map is also really well done. This must have been challenging for the devs as the game is already so colorful and vibrant at times, but I never found myself in a situation where I couldn't make something out in the heat of battle because there were too many things going on. The game also has several accessibility options for the visually impaired, so kudos to the devs for that too. The guns themselves are a really important factor in any shooter because if the feedback doesn't feel satisfying, it can often kill the vibe of the whole game. I'm happy to report that the BB guns not only feel great, but they feel chunky and hit with a satisfying oomph and a level of impact. Only when you fight the bosses do they feel a bit more spongy, but even then it just adds to the chaos of each wave. There's also a good variety of weapons, from the standard rifle to lock-on rockets to high-powered sniper rifles and more. They can even be outfitted with those attachments like I mentioned in between rounds. Now you can't carry two weapons, but you can outfit your gun with multiple attachments that act as that second weapon. For example, you can have an underbarrel shotgun, and then on top you have a sniper rifle or a regular assault rifle. It's a smart and intuitive way to keep the game simplified. And there can be so much going on during a single mission that it can get overwhelming at times. First, due to the fact that, at least during the campaign, you are almost always tasked with defending the 3 or 4 hypercores in a single level. These cores are yours to protect wave after wave. In between each wave, you get a chance to not only explore the map, as I mentioned just before, which is crucial for picking up the currency necessary to keep up all the buildables. Keep in mind that there are multiple difficulty levels for scaling, so you get access to buildables around each one of those cores and scattered across the maps that range from the sticky floor trap to full-on auto rocket turrets and anti-air turrets, and the more you play and scale through the game's 14 levels. I couldn't physically unlock all of the buildables just playing through the campaign one time, and this makes for great replay value. There's even a free roam mode for every single map if you want to collect all the pickups and find all the coins in each level without fighting at the same time. I actually found this mode really helpful for helping me refine my platforming skills in the game, as there's actually a good bit of platforming as you scuttle across each map, and when you're trying to simultaneously avoid BB fire, it can get hectic and it's loads of fun. The map variety has also surprised me. The game starts you out in a place that's reminiscent of Andy's Playroom from Toy Story, and before you know it, you're busting out of your packaging inside a retail store, you're jumping from the retractable garage onto the hood of a car, and a bunch of other places that vary in tone, color, and level layout that makes every single map feel fresh and unique with its own set of challenges. I also don't want to give too much away, but there are some levels that are really unique, and it definitely kept me engaged as I scurried around and jumped around the map looking for those optional objectives, or just trying to keep myself alive from the bombardment of enemy fire. The game will throw in a complete surprise mechanic from time to time, which I did not expect, and those were really fun and kept me on my toes. The game is also incredibly forgiving. There's no failure conditions for our mission except for failure to protect the hypercores. You just die, wait a few seconds, and respawn, and you're on your way. Now, after you successfully defend wave after wave of enemies, you earn free cosmetics, all of which are earnable in-game. There are no predatory microtransactions in Hypercharge Unboxed. There's a supporter pack that is purely cosmetic and only for those who want to support the game further, but that's it. The devs were really mindful of the impact that microtransactions can have, and even put it on their website how important it is to not have those, which is really great to see. Now, for one of the biggest pulls of the game, I feel it's actually the bots that play alongside you in the solo campaign, at least on the lower difficulties. During the campaign, the bots all have unique names, which is a really nice touch, but they'll also run around the map, pick up gold that enemies have dropped, and lay down buildables of their own. They don't seem to put up high-level buildables, only the starter ones, but the impact is still really helpful. I know offline bots might seem silly in 2025, but with the direction that everything is moving in, I'm trying to help focus on bringing you guys better bang for your buck, and I think that this is actually a huge value proposition. I'm thinking of people in less urban areas with maybe slower internet, or those in third world countries who maybe can't always afford the latest and greatest AAA games. So being able to have competent bots in a game like this is a huge selling point for me. Of course, the single-player campaign, which can be played solo or with those bots, or co-op with friends, is only part of the equation. There's also a full-on PvP mode in this game with full crossplay and cross-progression support. There are 5 game modes with all the standard rules for each one that you've come to expect. I'd have to say that 4 years on, the online is kinda dead. I was unable to find matches for most of the game modes, and this is a shame due to the game's openly cross-platform stance. So here's hoping the PS5 release injects new life into the online multiplayer / co-op for the game, because it is truly a lot of fun. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell to get instant notifications on when the next video drops. And drop a comment and let me know your thoughts on this game. Is this the first time you're hearing about it? Do you remember seeing an ad for it over the past couple of years? Are you going to pick this game up now? Let's talk down below. Also, if you'd like to get in touch with me directly, please follow me on Blue Sky. As always, this is Ambro, keeping you plugged into the games that matter. Peace out.